Right now, we have a Trooper Eric Foster who is on the phone with us right now. Thank you for joining us. So please tell us about how you guys are helping in this area tonight.
The Oklahoma Highway Patrol has several units out here assisting the Seminole County and also Pott County in closing some roadways where there's some down power lines. In the center of the town of Seminole, there are several power lines that are down. We're also have multiple units going around the area to try to find any other damage that we're unaware of that where someone may need assistance. So troopers are driving up and down these county roads, making sure that everyone is safe.
All right, Trooper Foster, it's Abby, if you can hear me. I wanted to mention to you that we're hearing Earlsboro has multiple locations of damage and Cromwell as well. Have you heard any information on injuries? I know that might not be the first thing that OHP responds to, but have you heard anything on that? We haven't heard anyone significantly injured from these multiple tornadoes. What are you hearing?
We haven't had reports yet at the Oklahoma Highway Patrol of significant injuries. However, there are a lot of emergency vehicles in the area just trying to check and make sure that everyone is okay. So there may be some, but we're not hearing of them right now.
And what about any rescues? I know you may have heard us talking earlier about people who were trapped in a storm cellar. What about any other rescues that you have heard of? I know you said you have your troopers who are out looking for damage and potentially people who could be trapped in their shelter.
We are, like we said, we're going around to different areas. We don't have specifically troopers going to a specific area to rescue people. We have heard those reports. However, we are going kind of in these areas where, people don't normally go, down in these country roads, things like that, across pastures to make sure that people aren't trapped in an area where, they can't report. And so that's really what our troopers are doing right now.
We're taking a look right now at a couple of photos that we had up of OHP assisting people in Seminole. What are your troopers telling you as far as damage goes? What are they seeing on the ground?
Well, significant damage to buildings, roof structures, these down power lines, all across the town of Seminole for sure. We have several troopers that are in Earlsboro as well, trying to assist there. They're trying to effect a command post right now to get all of those teams organized. However, we're just going from place to place trying to find that. There is significant damage in the town of Seminole. And we're happy to report that we haven't heard of any injuries yet. So, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to locate everyone and make sure that everyone is okay.
Yeah, it's a miracle to hear that there are no injuries so far, and that is some good news. Trooper Foster, I know you mentioned some roads may be closed. Any major roads in the area that people should be aware of that are blocked off right now?
Right, downtown Seminole. So those roads that come right in the middle of Seminole, where all of those power lines kind of converge, that's where we're seeing the most blockages and things like that. So, avoid the town of Seminole, avoid the town of Earlsboro, and let, first responders be able to do their job safely and get everybody safe that needs help.
I'm sure there are a lot of people who were hunkered down in their cellar, in their safe room, and they are now coming out the second time after the second wave of storms moved through. Trooper Foster, I would love for you just to talk about how you can assess the damage safely. We have down power lines, we have debris, I'm sure glass. What would be your advice to someone who's stepping out on the road? Maybe they come across a down power line.
Anytime you see a down power line, do not cross it. Find an alternate route. If you do happen to cross it, and by accident, that's, try not to cross those things. Don't be out on foot in these areas. There's a lot of other danger besides power lines that are down. There's a lot of debris that is out. If you do need assistance, try to reach out to neighbors, things like that, who can help you. I know that we're having problem with communications in these areas, as is normal in an aftermath of a storm like this. And so we're trying to establish that with a command post that will help us get communications back up and running. Good thing to say, we're working together with a lot of different agencies together with all the resources to bring help to people that are there. Just one other thing I just want to reiterate, if you're not from that area, you don't need to be there. Please don't come down there and congest that because it kind of takes away from who we can help and when. We have to triage these situations and get people help that need it the most.
So what can you tell us about the next several hours going into the overnight hours? Do you plan to have crews there until tomorrow?
Yes, we will have crews there. As long as needed, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol will assist any time that they need. But something like this takes a long time. Our first priority is human life, and so we will try to locate every person that we know is in that area to make sure that they're okay, first of all. And that takes a lot of time, especially when these houses are spread out. And so that's what we'll be doing, and that will take some time. And in the dark, and still while it is still raining and storms are still coming in, as we were responding to that first storm in Seminole, we had reports that another one may be right behind. And so there was a time where we had to take cover shortly, and so that's going to continue for us back and forth. And so it will take quite some time. Emergency crews are still coming to these areas from all over to be able to assist.
Just looking at the damage, part of downtown Seminole looks like a war zone. Trooper Foster, I know you have a lot to do. We really appreciate the time. I had one quick last question for you because you talked about how you wanted to get that communication back up and running. We have heard from concerned people who are unable to reach their loved ones. One talking about her grandfather in a nursing home. Their phone lines obviously down. You have said don't travel to Seminole or Earlsboro or wherever unless you need to be here. What would be your advice for someone who is concerned and unable to reach a loved one who lives in this area?
I would like to say, just optimistically, we haven't had any reports of any injuries. So that should give you a little bit of calm, knowing that that is the case right now with all the emergency crews that are out there. The other thing is, let us establish an area where we can get people together and can establish that communication center so that people are able to reach out to their loved ones. However, if you come to this area, you may not be able to get in. So you may be more frustrated just coming down here and, in a place where there are down power lines, where there are debris all over. It will be you'll be almost unable to get to those spots. So really just, listen that there are no reports of significant injury right now and that there are multiple crews out here to help people. I know that's hard to hear, but just give it a little bit of time and then we'll establish the communications and people will be able to contact.